Hello. In this video, I'm going to share some tips for buying PPE and medical products to fight coronavirus because there's a lot of interest about this topic at the moment. All around the world, countries are struggling with coronavirus and buyers are scrambling to buy PPE and other medical supplies from China. Typically, buyers are trying to purchase gowns, gloves, medical masks, filtering respirators, face shields, disinfectant hand sanitizer, goggles, COVID-19 test kits, infrared thermometers, ventilators, and more. It's not a normal situation for buyers. In fact, it's very, very risky because, of course, these are products which are meant to protect health, even save lives. Therefore, no quality issues can be tolerated. It's a very fast moving situation. And as you've probably seen in the media, there have already been reports of defective PPE and products from China reaching buyers in the West and ultimately going to places like hospitals. So, how do you stay safe and also avoid being ripped off? Well, here are some warnings for buyers before you actually enter the market. Firstly, you're going to need to be ready to decide probably faster than usual. So there may be no time for RFQs and going through quite a detailed process. Basically, you'll need to be ready to qualify the supplier and send full payment really, really quickly. If you don't buy the product, somebody else will. We're seeing that any available stock in China typically sells out between about 12 to 24 hours. So again, speed is of the essence. Most things are made to order. Lead times are 1 to 4 weeks. Prices are mainly going up. They do fluctuate and go down as well. The supply capacity has risen a lot as new production lines come on stream in manufacturers, but of course, the demand keeps growing just as quickly. Buyers for government bodies or hospital trusts are more likely to get the attention of legitimate suppliers than private sellers. The established companies in China who already have a long history of making medical supplies like masks, hazmat suits, and all of the rest of it already have distribution channels locked down and are extremely busy. It's not very likely you're going to be able to buy from them, certainly not quickly anyway. Newer entrants to the market that were able to set up processes and become properly certified and have the correct materials and quality exist, but they're not easy to find. You need to be careful to find out who your vendor is. If they're a trading company, whatever they're selling may be coming from a source who possibly aren't even a manufacturer themselves. So you end up in a situation where you've got 2, 3, 4 layers of middlemen, all, of course, adding a markup, and none of them, or perhaps only one at the very end, know who the real manufacturer is. So in this case, how can you be sure of the quality of the products that you're bringing in when perhaps they don't know themselves? On top of that, the price of air freight is only going in one direction, and that's up. As mentioned earlier, suppliers are more than likely going to expect the full payment in advance simply because they can. If you won't pay it, somebody else will. So, in order to reduce risks, what must you do before you place an order and before it gets shipped? Well, lab testing is probably out of the question. Many of the testing labs are already at capacity and are giving us lead times of months before they can complete new safety testing. So, if your supplier can provide you with legitimate safety test certificates from testing labs that have already been carried out, that's great. But if you're going to go to a lab and ask them to conduct a full range of new tests on a new product, it's going to take so long that it's not going to be helpful at this point. So as a buyer, you're going to have to rely on checking documents to assess the supplier and product legitimacy. So this means that your due diligence is really, really important, even if you are in a hurry to bring in the products. Typically, you'll want to obtain evidence about the company to see that they are real, evidence that they are authorized to export from China, and certificates that demonstrate that they're permitted to import into your country. To that end, you should request the supplier's regulatory certification. So that might be something like a CE certificate, and also the testing reports. If they're just providing you with one certificate, this could be faked. We've seen fake CE certificates and other certificates like that. But if you're requesting a lot of the information from them, so CE certificate and testing reports and some of the other information mentioned just above, that's going to give you much more of a chance to make sure that they are legitimate. Buyers who are placing very, very large orders, and so probably millions of pieces, should be able to demand to audit the supplier's factory before production. If you're a small customer, they may resist this. After checking documentation, doing a factory audit is probably the next level of safety, because the auditor will confirm whether what the documents are saying is actually happening for real. And then next, you should be conducting product inspections at the factory before shipping. If you've already paid for the order, the supplier probably won't have many complaints about you inspecting products. But the bonus for you is that if you do find any issues, this will help you pinpoint them and to ask for changes or to deal with the issues with the supplier before they actually get shipped to you. So one of the big issues at the moment is being able to export from China, regardless of whether you can get the products into your country as well. Because of the problems with quality, China has implemented increasingly strict rules to assure the quality of exported medical supplies. This is changing all of the time. It's really, really difficult to say that in a week or 2 weeks' time, and this is filmed in late April 2020, that this information will be the same. But as it stands, roughly, you're going to need to know that your supplier is licensed in China to manufacture the products, that they are authorized to export the product from China, that all of the paperwork submitted to China Customs is absolutely bomb-proof because they are scrutinizing it very, very strictly, and that the products are of excellent quality and not counterfeit, because again, China Customs are actually checking quality of consignments before they're allowed to be exported. And of course, double checking that your country is legally permitted to receive the items that you're trying to buy. The good news is at Sofeast, we can help you to reduce all of these risks. So we can take care of supplier due diligence for you. We can conduct legal records checks. We can also verify the certificates, such as CE certificates. Our team can go into your supplier to audit their factory. We can also confirm material quality and inspect products at your supplier's premises as well. I'll share some links to these different solutions in the video description. And we've come to an end. If you've got any questions about buying PPE and medical products, do feel free to contact us. I will share the contact page link as well. We're happy to help, or at least give some advice if we can. Thanks for watching.